Hello and welcome to the walk-off, everybody. I'm Scott Belford. Very excited for today's episode where we have a very special guest. Now, we've had ball players, we've had big wigs with the Blue Jays on the show, but this is the first time that we have had a movie star, and I am so excited to talk some Blue Jays baseball with them. If you're watching this right now and you have yet to subscribe to the channel, it goes a long way if you do so, and hit that little thumbs up. The like button goes a long way on that. Let's introduce today's guest. I'm so excited to be joined by Blue Jays fan extraordinaire, Canadian actor that we all love and are proud of back here in the motherland. And his latest movie, Hard Eyes, is in theaters on Friday. Devon Sawa, welcome to the walk-off, man. Thanks for
How
taking
you
the
doing,
time.
man? I've been promoting this film for the last week, and this has got to be the most starstruck. I'm so excited. I've done Entertainment Tonight. I've done like Access Hall. I've done all those shows, but this, right? I hear your voice every night, you know. So I'm excited to be here.
Well,
Hello, Toronto.
I'm going to tell you this, all right? And I promised my wife that I would not fangirl, but we're in it now.
Please, thank.
This is
I
very
need it.
surreal for me. So here's the thing, man. Idle Hands was one of my favorite movies for like a decade. From the time I was like 17 to 27, when I was in college, the boys and I, when we were looking for a stoner movie, that was it. That's what we did. When we were sitting around killing brain cells, Idle Hands was our go-to movie, up there with like Pick of Destiny from Tenacious D and Dazed and Confused. It
I
was just
love it.
such a gem. And honestly, man, I know that you have more acclaimed work out there
No,
and
you
that
know what? You'll be happy to know that that is actually top of my list at the most fun I had shooting. The one of the ones I'm most proud of.
really,
That and Stan and now Hard Eyes. But these,
yeah.
I love it. I love being part of that film, and it's grown such a cult following. I went to this rooftop screening of it one time, like a few years ago, with Seth and Eldon from the movie, and as soon as the credits went up, the whole place just started lighting up joints and bongs and pipes. Like, oh, okay, we did something.
You did something. That's so cool. Did you
Yeah,
know?
man.
Did you know when you were making it that it might be something like this? Kind of a
We
cult.
knew we knew, and we were trying to make something different because at the time, movies like Scream, and I know we did last summer, and the rest of those kind of films were out, and we wanted to do something that was a little more tongue in cheek, a little bit more campy, and we took a big swing, and that's what we got, and it was a lot of fun, and people still love it, and they're gonna reboot it apparently, and
Oh, really? Very
yeah,
cool.
the kids from Stranger Things are going to take a stab at that concept. So,
I love it.
yeah, man.
Very cool. You know what's awesome is that you are a really great follow on Twitter, but it's kind of for everyone who doesn't follow you, it's Devon E Sawa at Devon E Sawa on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. But I always get a kick out of it because your Twitter account is one half you connecting with your audience, your fans, discussing horror movie, your love of the industry and your career, and the other half is just you obsessing over the Toronto Blue Jays. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah. And a full disclosure, I like the Dodgers. We live in LA. I go see the Dodgers, but Blue Jays are my team. I'm Canadian, and that's number one. So yeah, I do love the Blue Jays.
Well, I was
Um,
going to ask you about that because I know the Jays are your number one. I know that you're a big Dodgers fan, and why wouldn't you be? You've been living in LA for years and years and years. What was it like watching them just in front of your eyes kind of build this juggernaut? And did you get a chance to check them out in the playoffs at all this year?
Yeah, we have season tickets, so we're going there all the time. Listen, the Dodgers are a good team to have when the Blue Jays are having the half year they had last year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like watching them last year was getting tough, and so luckily I had the Dodgers to fall back on. Um, but uh, but yeah, we went to the World Series game two when Ice Cube
Wow.
was singing. Yeah, I didn't get to go. My wife and my son went, and so yeah, we saw a lot of Dodgers games last year.
So your kids are big ball fans? Have you
Yeah,
converted
my
them that
kid.
you've turned them? Yeah.
That's how I got religiously into baseball. I was into mixed martial arts, watching the UFC, and at the time where Conor McGregor came in, not because of him, just all my guys were starting to fall off. All the the GSPs and
Yeah.
all those guys. when Nate Diaz is like getting old, like years like I just felt it was time to go. And my son got into baseball, and I started shooting Chucky in Toronto, and that was it. It was like all my free time was watching Blue Jays podcast and obsessing over the Blue Jays. And I never paid attention to the off season, and now it's like this whole other thing where it's just as depressing as losing sometimes. I mean, I was
Yeah,
the guy
man.
watching the little plane. I was like, I gotta go for a walk because this plane's not gonna land for 2 more hours, and Kikuchi's got a restaurant. We rented a
Yeah,
whole
that's
road.
right.
We
Yeah.
got him. We're gonna get him. This is happening.
Oh
And so I
man,
dealt with a
I'm
lot of
such
those
a
disappointments.
sucker for hope, Like I
Yeah.
promised myself, Devon, I would not get sucked into the Roki Sasaki stuff after being fooled
I
with
did
it.
too. I thought it wasn't as bad
It
as
wasn't.
Yoshani. But I was like, there's a chance.
There's a
There's a
chance.
real
That's all I
chance.
need to buy in.
Yeah.
Exactly. So before we dive into Blue Jays here, I did want to quickly touch on the fact we're both big Yusei Kikuchi fans. I know
Yeah.
that
Man, I had to watch the Astros last year. I bought an Astros t-shirt. Okay, every 5 games I was watching the Astros.
this is literally what I was going to ask you is now that he's in an Angels uniform.
I bought an Angels jersey.
This is the greatest thing I've ever heard, because I was gonna ask you, are you actually gonna is becoming an Angels fan flying too close to the sun? Is that too much baseball, or are you gonna go check them out?
It's another 3 hours a day. Listen, I'm okay. It'll only be every 5th game. But,
yeah.
but I'm not an Angels fan. When I was in Toronto shooting, I think the first game I saw live there was a Kikuchi's pitch, and I was like, man, this guy is great. And then my buddies made fun of me. He's like, you like Kikuchi? And I had like a Kikuchi. I was the only guy at Rogers wearing a Kikuchi, like a custom Kikuchi shirt. Everybody thought I was nuts, but now he's amazing. Like any team is lucky to have him. He's I don't know whether it was the Astros that turned it around but he is.
His arc as a Blue Jay was so interesting. Like that first year, when everyone's like, I guess he's in the bullpen. And then the next year, he's just like saved the season for this team pretty much. And then last year was weird. And then watching him go to the Astros, like what? And then he got $60 million. So good on him.
Yeah, I was really hoping he'd come to the Dodgers like Teoscar.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm hoping both ends up a shortstop at the Dodgers. Like, we'll see.
Well, I mean, the truth of the matter is seeing Teoscar Hernandez and Kevin Kiermaier get their rings. I mean, not the way I wanted to see it, but still very, very cool.
Especially Kiermaier.
Yeah.
Especially Kiermaier. Like, Teoscar probably was gonna get it at some point.
Yeah.
But
going into
Kiermaier's on the way
retirement
out.
for
I don't know. Was that it for him? Is he?
He's done? Retired?
Oh,
yeah. What a way to go out, eh?
Yeah, it really is. Good for him.
So, obviously, and I know you touched on it, the 2024 Blue Jays season, it was disappointing to say the least. And obviously, they have a lot of heavy lifting they had to do coming into the offseason. Yeah. But they actually did something that they needed, which was they now have a cleanup hitter for the first time in like 2 years. Yeah. Anthony Santander. Are you excited about him? And what do you think a little bit of protection for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in this lineup will do? Because I'm pretty excited about that.
For me, Vlad was the savior. It was like Vlad and the kids. That was how he went last year. And he kind of was the only, hopefully Vlad comes into the season with that same kind of heat. I'm glad we're picking up some players. I hope we get at least one more bat.
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
I'm excited. Listen, I'm excited.
And that's what the offseason's for, is to get excited, right? Sometimes it's all we got.
I'm thinking that maybe next year I just stay away from the offseason and check in at the end, because it's really been a rough road.
Yes, right?
And then you guys make it unbearable.
Oh, we're not helping things.
YouTube will be like, you'll never believe what the Blue Jays did. ... I'm like, oh my God, I'm not clicking it, but I got to know what they did. I have to know what they did.
Just to find out.
Increase their price of hot dogs by $1. I'm like, oh, they got me again.
Yeah, that's right. That's so funny, man. Favorite player on the team right now, because I'm curious your thoughts on the whole Vladimir Guerrero Jr. stuff going on. I mean, he seems so imperative to this franchise. Where do you rank like your feelings of their need to lock him up
Yeah,
and his importance? Like, where do you rank that, or do you think they have to do this?
yes. It's
Yeah,
really tough for me to watch this season, knowing like trying to think that this may be the last. It would make it a much more enjoyable season for me if I know they've locked Vlad up. It's going to be. There's no way I'm not going to think about, okay, this is it for Bo and Vlad. Like this could be the final year. They're moving. Like after this, it's inevitable that they're gonna, they're gone. Vlad is such a face of the team right now. Um, I think they need to make that work. I'm surprised that they haven't yet.
it
I'm
is kind of
surprised.
interesting they haven't done it yet, right? Like
Yeah,
it feels like such an obvious thing to do. And who knows? I mean, Shapiro and Atkins back are against the wall right now. Maybe that's the move to make sure they keep their jobs, right? They kind of got that last one in their
I think
arrow in
Soto
their
made it
quiver.
hard for everybody, didn't
Yeah.
it? I mean, it pretty like I'm sure Vladdy's sitting in the mirror in the morning going, "Why don't I get Soto money?" You know what I mean? Maybe I need to move to third base.
Yeah, right. You're right.
So,
Um, I'm still blown away you have season tickets to the Dodgers, dude. That is
yeah,
so cool, man. I actually got to see Dodger Stadium and experience it myself a couple years ago. Not what I was expecting at all. For everyone who's never been to Dodger Stadium, what is that atmosphere like? Because I don't think how much history is in that stadium really gets like emphasized and talked about enough.
yeah. It feels like something right out of the '70s. It's just like this slab of concrete that
Yeah.
all these people from everywhere come to, and the vibe is just electric. It's a great anybody that I mean, down the street is Petco, which is like the state of the art, like beautiful built stadium.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't have the feel of Dodger Stadium. That maybe that's just because I hate the Padres, but
No, I agree. I actually saw Petco this year. Beautiful stadium. But you know what
amazing.
it reminded me of is like this is a great place for people to party and not watch the game. And Dodger
Yeah,
Stadium does not feel like that.
yeah, we get into it. It's
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. It's an electric kind of feeling. My wife, as far as the season tickets go, my wife was like, "Oh, I don't think we could do another year. It's just too much." I'm like, "Nah, no, it's good. It's a good amount."
You're like, I'll work more. It's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll
yeah.
make it happen. Yeah. Out of curiosity, buddy, who was your favorite J last year?
Um, was Chapman traded last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chapman was my guy for a while. I really enjoyed watching Chapman throw the ball around. I thought he's definitely a Gold Glove player, and he's. I was really sad to see that guy go.
Yeah.
I loved how Vlad turned it around in the second half. Yeah, I think that was
Do your kids have a couple guys that they follow religiously who
the Vlad
are
fan.
they're Vlad fans?
Yeah,
And how about the Dodgers? Are they obsessed with the Dodgers too?
they are obsessed with the
Yeah.
Dodgers. My daughter who's 8 loves Mr. Seeds. She calls him. It's
Hey,
Teoscar.
Oscar. Yeah.
She just like she's gonna love Tony Taters. That's gonna be her new
Tony Taters.
like
Yeah.
like this guy's Tony. Can't wait to see Tony Taters. So they like the that's
So a
my
good
daughter.
nickname goes a long
Good
way.
nickname. So
Yeah.
Pistol Pete would be pretty good. What
Right.
is
I
what is
like
his
it.
nickname?
Yes.
Pete or what is he going by?
Bring us the polar bear. Yes.
There you go. That would totally go. I forgot it's the polar bear. Yeah, she likes Mr. Seeds, and my son is a big Shohei fan. So
Of course. How can you
yeah,
not be? Like, that's the cool
all
thing
the
with the Dodgers. If you're a kid there and you're like, I can't stand it because it's just like, it feels like they're cheating, even though I'm well aware everyone else should be spending too. It's just, you know how it is. It's the Yankee hatred in me, I guess. It's spilling over, but
dude.
to,
Even we're like, guys, you gotta take it easy. Just like we do this quietly, please. Like it's too much now. But I feel bad for Betts, who's the most insane player ever. But
yeah,
like
right.
he was the face of our team for like it was Betts, 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 and now it's kind of like Otani, and I guess that's baseball. So
Yeah.
uh, yeah,
It
it's
is
my
kind of funny how he's taken a back seat now after being like the most iconic guy in a Dodgers uniform for years there.
Yeah, totally.
So it is pretty rare that an iconic Hall of Fame type player rides off into the sunset wearing a Blue Jays uniform. I mean, we kind of got to see that happen with the big hurt Frank Thomas back in like 2007, 2008, I think it was, which was super cool. But just last week, the Blue Jays signed surefire Hall of Famer Max Scherzer,
Yeah, I
one
don't know.
year.
It's
You got to like
I
that,
don't know.
right?
I don't know what to say.
It's
He's
just cool.
It's very cool. It's very cool. He's tough to call him old because I'm 6 years older. I'm great. I hope he comes in and teaches the youngsters some things and is a great presence in the bullpen and yeah, it's exciting.
It is. It's cool. I'm really curious to see how many Scherzer jerseys we see around Rogers this year because it will be like
tough investment. You got a year on that jersey.
yeah, you got 1 year on it, but think about how cool it is 20 years from now, right? A
That's true.
Blue Jays Scherzer jersey, no one's gonna have that.
That's true. That's true. I wish it was the same with my Kikuchi
Your
jersey.
Angels, yeah.
Angel Stadium. Oh, he played for the Blue Jays?
Yeah. So I was a big Jordan Romano fan.
Yeah.
He was kind of my favorite dude last year. Mark a
Yeah.
madman, right? Out of here in Canada. It just
Oh, yeah.
really easy to get behind him. I know
Yeah.
that they wound up moving on from him and bringing in Jeff Hoffman, who,
Yeah.
interestingly enough, was actually the prospect that they moved for Troy Tulowitzki back in 2015. So kind of full circle stuff here with Jeff Hoffman.
Yeah.
When you lose a favorite player, and I guess we might be at the age now where it hurts less, but I am curious. Like, you've got kids that are invested in these teams. When you
Yeah.
watch a player that they love leave, like, what kind of hole does that leave? Because it hurts, right? Like, more than we
Yeah.
probably should let it hurt.
Romano's a tough one because he's also like Bo and like Vladdy. He's a character. The kids love him. The lights go on the lights go off and his WWE walkout starts whenever he's about to save the game. Hopefully, yeah, those guys are tough to leave. That's why Bo and Vlad are going to be so tough to leave because
Oh,
they're characters. They're not
yeah.
just great players. They're also these larger than life characters. And Romano was definitely one of those. It was surprising to see him go. It came out of nowhere.
Especially to watch him hit the open market and then the Phillies just pay more to get him. And it was like, oh, okay, interesting. Man, that is such a good point, though, because it just makes me think of what you said about the importance of bringing Vladimir Guerrero Jr. back and just like
Yeah,
it gives us as a fan base something to watch, right?
yeah.
And like how devastating it would be to watch him leave. And I kind of feel the same way about Bo Bichette. I know everyone talks about he's already checked out and he wants out of Toronto, but I'm kind of like circle
He's a little,
back, see what
he's a little
he.
grumpy.
Yeah,
He's a
he's
little grumpy.
grumpier. He is
He
grumpier.
got a haircut though, so
He did,
maybe he'll be
following in
smiling
Vlad's
a little more.
footsteps. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he'll come out with his new haircut and be smiling a little bit more. I'm gonna miss Bo. I hope he comes to the Dodgers. um, he was also a character on the team.
Yes, yes, he was. Bichette in a Dodgers uniform. You getting that jersey?
No,
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 no.
I'm not getting that jersey.
Okay,
I
there we
like
go.
Bo, but I'm like Kikuchi is the only jersey I own. It might stay that way. I'm a Kikuchi guy as far as the jerseys go.
So I have another couple questions for you. I have some listener
Yeah.
questions. I know that your house becomes a explosion goes off here in just a few minutes here, and the wife and the kids and the dogs are back. So let's
Yeah.
rip through these here and see if we
Okay.
can finish before the craziness. So,
I
do
hope I'm
you
keeping up. It's hard to talk to like someone that religiously does this about baseball. Like talking to my buddies, it's like, but
You're doing great, man.
great,
I'm
great,
loving
great.
this. I'm loving
Cool.
this.
Cool,
Do
cool.
you remember where you were for the Jose Batista bat flip?
I don't. I don't even know if I was
Were
watching
you
live.
into the Blue Jays big time at that
I wasn't
time?
as into. I definitely wasn't into them as. I wasn't into baseball as religiously back then. It was kind of like, yeah, I like baseball. I'll go see some
Yeah.
games. I'll watch some games. But now I watched every single Blue Jays and Dodgers game last year, whether it was live or not. I watched every you know.
So it really
Um,
was the kids that kind of brought back the interest. Is that kind of what it
I needed
was?
a new hobby. The UFC was out. My kid was playing baseball. I was starting to learn learn more about the game as
Mhm.
my kid was learning, and
Right.
so it got watching it much more interesting when you start learning, the things that you wouldn't really think about if as just a casual fan. Um, but I've seen the Batista bat flip
Of course, a million times.
times. It's
Yeah.
it's legendary. I just don't think I watched it live.
Did you ever play
Unfortunately,
did you ever play baseball growing up?
no. I grew up in North Burnaby, British Columbia, and we had hockey rinks in
Yeah.
walking distance every direction. It was a
Yeah.
diehard hockey kind of town. There wasn't a lot of baseball when I grew up, so I
Did you
did
play hockey, Devin?
played street hockey, but I got into acting
Nice.
really early. I got in at 8 years old, so I was well on the way.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
right on.
every Canadian plays at least street hockey,
At
or
least
you
street
passport
hockey.
taken away,
It's in our blood. That's right.
right?
Okay, so some listener questions here for you, and we'll let you get on your way. Honestly, man, this has been such an absolute
Dude, it's so
pleasure,
much
and
fun. Honestly, I was so excited about this one.
I'm really glad you made some time for us. So thanks again. So this one is from Deb in our Discord. She goes, "It's so cool. Devin's coming on the pod. Can you ask him if he wants to see Vladimir Guerrero Jr. playing more third base this year?"
If it means they're re-signing him, if it means he's going to extend for a while and he needs to move over to third, and we sign a new first base player, I'm all for it.
I
Um,
like that answer. You're like, give me the polar bear. Let him play as much third as he wants.
so also, it's at the same time it's tough to watch him anybody go to third because I miss Chapman. I'm still mourning the trade of Chapman, although I know he
Yes.
wanted to go to San Francisco really bad. He
Yes.
did sad that he left, but whatever. I liked watching him play. But listen, Vlad wants to go to third. Let him play third. Let him dive around at third. It's a harder job.
Love that. Okay, this is from Samantha. She reached out on X. She said, OMG, how in the world did you get Devon Sawa to come on the pod? This is amazing. Can you ask how often he's in Toronto in a year and if he plans on going to a Jays game at Rogers Center this summer?
I've shot about 80% of my stuff over the last 30 something years in Toronto. I'm
Amazing.
always in Toronto.
Yeah.
I went. When I shot Chucky, I did 3 seasons of Chucky there. It was three years, and I went to so many Blue Jays games there, and I went a lot by myself. You have no idea how easy it is and how cheap you can get a ticket, solo tickets, and it's just therapeutic. You go, you throw a hat on,
Yeah.
watch the game, and it was down the street from where I was staying. So yeah, I will be back. I will be at more games. I'm going to work at getting my bucket list is to throw a pitch out there. I want to throw a little heat over the plate.
I
So
love this plan. We should
I'm,
get
I'm,
behind you. We'll have a
I'm
push.
gonna,
Sawa for first pitch. There we go.
yeah, I'm gonna try either that or the anthem. But I think the pitch would be a lot better.
That is wild. You're in Toronto for 80% of your stuff. That's actually
Yeah,
pretty cool, man.
well, I'm in Canada for 80% of the
Yeah.
stuff, but I've shot so much. I shot this TV show for 5 years there back in 2009.
Hmm.
I did Chucky, and I've done tons of stuff there. Three, four
Yeah.
movies there. Yeah, I'm
I
there all
know
the time.
I know my wife actually met you on set here. I don't think I'm allowed
Yeah,
to mention the name of it
yeah.
or
You
whatever,
can't you
but
can't talk about that one. But I
yeah,
was so
but
excited to do that project. I was
yeah,
so
yeah,
excited. It's
yeah,
a great one.
yeah.
Wait, are they gonna know from your wife?
No, they won't.
Okay.
I've very strategically kept my mouth shut. So,
Okay.
and by strategically, I mean she has forced me to keep my mouth shut. So there we go. Yeah, we're
That's good.
safe. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Last question here. I know we're down to it here. Hopefully we can get it in before the craziness happens. So this is Jason messaged us on Patreon. He goes, "Hey guys, when you're talking with Sawa, can you ask him who his favorite Blue Jay was growing up, who it was last year, and who his fave of all time is?" So Matt Chapman. And
I
then,
don't even know growing up. I was hockey till I was
yeah,
15.
yeah,
So I
very
don't even know
fair.
growing up. Chapman, Kikuchi by a landslide was my favorite.
Okay.
Was
Of
my
all
favorite
time. I
player.
love it.
Um, I like Varsho. I think Varsho is fun to watch. Gosman is fun to watch. I guess man, they're all.
Yeah.
It's such a great team. One of the differences between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays is the Dodgers is like well-oiled machine. That get like they're spoiled, they're bullies, they're great to watch, but
Yeah.
they're like this. Well, the Dodgers are like this. There's a great group of guys that kind of fit well together, and they're having fun and they're winning games, and there's just two different vibes going on, and I love them both, but. I got so many players. I got so many favorite players on the Jays over the years and currently, and yeah.
Well, buddy,
Well, hopefully Tony Taters like
Tony
becomes.
Taters, we're just so happy to have you in our world of Jays fandom, Devin. Honestly, it's really
I'm
cool to watch you on
here.
Twitter and really cool to see you support the team. And honestly, it meant the world you coming on the show here. So thank you so much, buddy. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Anytime in the future you want me back, I'm good.
We'll make it happen.
All right, brother.